Good morning, and welcome to Unity Palo Alto's live celebration service, Shelter and Grace Edition. My name is Reverend John Riley, and I have the joy and privilege and honor of serving you as your spiritual minister, as your spiritual leader, as your senior minister. And I'd like to welcome you to this wonderful celebration service. We're so glad that you're here today. And what we want you to know is that Unity is an inclusive spiritual movement, welcoming people from all walks of life, teaching positive spiritual principles for people who are really seeking a direct experience of this thing called God, the spirit, the substance, the allness of life, seeking a direct experience of that in their life. People who are seeking a greater expression of harmony, health, and abundance, and people who are looking for purpose, for growth, and for spiritual transformation. We teach and provide opportunities to practice positive spiritual principles so you can live those things in your life so you can do life better. We're grateful that you're here today. Joe Angelis is our platform leader this morning. And with us for our music is Sharon D. Henderson and Reflection, featuring Mark Rickey on keyboards and Lee Henderson on bass. And so with that, we'll begin our service with our opening song. Sharon, take it away.
Sunshine in day, real, 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 Sharon, thank you so much for that bright, shiny day. Isn't it? So good morning to all of you. I am Joe Angeles. It's so good to connect with all of you this morning. Welcome to Unity Palo Alto's online service. We are part of a worldwide movement of prayer, publishing, and education, teaching positive, practical spiritual principles that you and I can apply every day to help us live a more joyful and abundant life. Hold on one second. Hearing some background noise. So, Unity is a spiritual movement. We are welcoming and inclusive. And wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. We have 5 core principles that guide us in our spiritual path. Our first principle, God is. There is only one power and presence active in the universe and in our lives. And you may call this God, you may call this isness, spirit, source. My favorite lately is divine benevolence. And this divine benevolence, which is in our second principle, is the substance and intelligence innate in every person in all creation. So that means since you and I are created in the image and likeness of this divine benevolence, you and I are innately divine benevolence. And if we have this in our third principle, which is thoughts in our mind produce after their kind, which means we have the ability to affect our world. And we do this intentionally through our fourth principle, which is the practice of prayer and meditation. Prayer and meditation connect us to that creative, constructive power of God to work in us and through us. And as we allow this God to work in us and through us, we're able to do our fifth principle, which is a practical application. So as we live according to these truths daily, we become what we are created to be, the living expressions of the image of God, which Unity calls the Christ. So as we allow these 5 core principles to guide us in living our vision statement, and I invite you to affirm our vision statement with me together, centered in God. We co create a world that works for all. And so it is. We are a welcoming and vibrant community with many virtual opportunities for spiritual growth, sacred service, and celebrating our community. Yes, I know today was supposedly our online pet blessing service. We are postponing it this morning, but fear not. We will reschedule this opportunity to show our pets, our furry companions, and in some cases, a now standing coworker that you appreciate the love, the comfort, and the joy that they bring to your life. And we will let you know as soon as we have a new set date. And remember, pets of all faith are definitely welcome to our pet blessing service. Then join Reverend John Riley for a dive into our 5 core unity principles using the book, The 5 Principles, a guide to practical spirituality. This 3-week class will begin on next Sunday, actually, October 25th, and everyone is welcome. And if you are interested in becoming a voting member of our spiritual center, this is one of the required classes, and you can sign up today at our website at unitypaloalto.org. And if you would like to have more information of these and any other opportunities, you can definitely go to our website at unitypaloalto.org. And you can also check out our social media channels. There are so many ways to connect with us and share the good news that is Unity Palo Alto. And if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, we invite you to pop over to the chat room and send and greet each other. Or you can simply put your hand in your heart and send that love to your friends in unity. If you're tuning in for the first time or you're back from a long absence, we'd love to hear from you. So we invite you to fill out our online connection card, which can be found on our website at www.unitypaloalto.org/live. Happy Sunday, everyone. And now we turn it over to Sharon for our call to worship song. Thank you, Sharon. And now for our reading from the Daily Word. Today's Daily Word is steadfast. I will read our affirmation and then invite you to affirm it with me. I am a steadfast spiritual seeker. Would you affirm it with me? Together, I am a steadfast spiritual seeker. No matter where I may be on my path, sometimes my spiritual life feels easy and sometimes it feels hard. There are times I enjoy new insights, blissful clarity, and peace. Other times I may struggle, feeling stuck and directionless, and even feel lonely on my walk with God. At times like these, I renew my commitment to spiritual path. Although my attention may have wandered, the divine presence within me has always remained steadfast, as near as my next thought. Wherever I am in space, time, or consciousness, I discover the love, strength, and wisdom of God expressing through me. And our Bible verse for today is from Psalms 139, verses 9 to 10. If I take the wings of the morning and settle at the farthest limits of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me fast. And now a solo from Sharon.
Life is a journey not a destination. There are no regrets, just chances we've taken. Lay down your regrets, 'cause all we have is now. Wake up in the morning and get out of bed. Start making a mental list in my head of all of the things that I am grateful for. Early in the morning, it's the dawn of a new day. New hopes, new dreams, new ways. I open up my eyes and I open up my mind, and I wonder how life will surprise me today. Early in the morning, it's the dawn of a new day. New hopes, new dreams, new ways. I open up my heart and I'm gonna do my part and make this a positively beautiful day. La 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 la. It's a beautiful day. La 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 la. Life is a challenge, not a competition. You can still smell the roses or be on a mission. Just take a moment to get in touch with your heart. Sometimes you feel like you've got something to prove. Remind yourself that there's only one you, and take a moment, good and thanks for who you are. Yeah, 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 yeah. Early in the morning, it's the dawn of a new day. New dreams, new hopes, new ways. I open up my eyes and I open up my mind, and I wonder how life will surprise me today. Early in the morning, it's the dawn of a new day. New hopes, new dreams, new ways. I open up my heart and I'm gonna do my part and make this a positively beautiful day. La 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 la. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. La 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 la. Let's make this a beautiful, let's make this a wonderful, let's make this a powerful day. Let's make this a wonderful, let's make this a powerful, let's make this a beautiful day. Let's make this a wonderful, let's make this a powerful, let's make this a beautiful day. Life is a journey, not a destination. There are no mistakes, just chances we've taken. Lay down your regrets, 'cause all we have is now. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Well, good morning, Unity, and welcome to this positively beautiful day. This morning, we're going to be welcoming our fifth invitation, Cultivate, Don't Know Mind, our final week in our Fall Enrichment program, based on the book, The Five Intentions, Discovering What Death Can Teach Us About Living Fully by Frank Ostaseski. Now, this invitation comes from a Zen koan, and that's a story or a dialogue or a phrase that's meant to help us in our everyday, very human experiences. It's something that we are really looking for advice for something that we can apply in our life, an applicable spiritual principle. So the idea, cultivate, don't know mind. Now, on the outside, it may sound a little counterintuitive. It may sound a little off and confusing when we come at it from the state of our rational world, right? Where we have an unquestioning faith in the efficiency of reason, where we connect with clear thinking, with competency and worth, where essentially, we're in a world where we are going, where we've got to flex our knowledge, our muscle, our knowledgeable muscle, our intelligence, in order to have value. And that's kind of the society that we live in. We're living in a place where we have to have all the answers for people to really ascribe value to you, for us to feel value in ourselves. And we've always got to have the right answer, that competitive nature that comes out in us. Now, this is not to say that we're supposed to ignore all of the knowledge that we have, ignore all of the learning or all of the skills that we have within us. But however, if we're so rigid in our thinking around our knowledge, if we're so rigid in our thinking around wanting to be right, about wanting to have the right answer, then it really narrows our possibilities. It really brings focus and narrows our ability to discover new opportunities or new ways of looking at things. And so this idea of cultivating don't know mind is where we are able to loosen that rigidity, loosen all of that rigid thinking that's limited by our agendas, by our rules, by our expectations. Whatever our human problem, whatever our human challenge is, whatever the relationship is, whatever is happening in front of us, this idea gives us the ability to loosen that rigid thinking just a little bit so that we can have a clearer understanding of what's really happening, so that we can bring forth a greater wisdom, so that we can open ourselves to the potential that every situation has to offer. And so we're trained in society to have this narrow focus, to have this idea that we always have to have the right and perfect answer. And cultivate a don't know mind is really the opposite of that. It's where we have the invitation, where we open ourselves enough so that there's an invitation for life to come through in every situation. We can see things with fresh eyes. We can see things with an open mind and an open heart. Now, this is something that I learned a long time ago in my relationship with my wife, Tiffany. It appears that in our relationship, she's the one that stores the greater knowledge of history in our relationship. So while I think I know what I'm talking about, she's very often correcting me and saying, "No, that's not what happened. This is what happened." And the quicker that I can let go of my hold on that false reality that apparently I have, the easier life is. Now, I learned that early on in our relationship. Now, unfortunately, I have to be reminded of it every once in a while, but that's okay. The quicker that I can loose the rigidness of my thinking, then I open myself up to new possibilities. And here's one of the keys. Our challenge in any human relationship is that we're relying on memory. And what's real about the brain scientists will tell us, is that our brain is constantly changing our memories, discarding memories that aren't being used. It's just like, you remember when you learned Spanish in high school and how fluent you were, and because you haven't used it in 30 years, you have very little understanding of it. Okay, maybe that's just me. But if you don't use it, you lose it. And that's what happens with our memories. If we don't exercise those memories, the brain naturally moves them aside so that it can make room for more memories, for more ideas. And so forgetfulness is really built into the system of our brain. And we are constantly cleaning out the closets of our brain to make new, for all of the new things, to help make space to discover new opportunities and new things. So memory is imperfect. And not only is memory imperfect, that history that we have, when we recorded it, it was filtered through our lens of our experience. So it was filtered through our thoughts and our beliefs at the time. And so we took on a memory from our perception that may not be complete. Brain scientists say there's billions of pieces of data around us every moment of the day. And yet our brain can only keep track of, a few thousand. And most of those are, subconscious, making sure that, are we safe? Am I warm enough? Am I hungry? Am I thirsty? Having all of those underlying core components of being human taken care of. And so the very few pieces of data that we're actually able to take in are then filtered through those beliefs that we held at the time. Now put into place that this idea that happened 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 20 years ago. Now I'm looking at it through my new lens. Here's my old impression looking through my new lens. And so my perception of what happened may not be accurate, may not be based on data, may be based on my feelings and how I am at the moment. And so it's less important to get, I think, the history right. What's more important is to look behind the story that you're trying to tell so that you can bring forth what you're trying to express in this present moment. So you can bring forth that idea of what is it that I'm really feeling about this? Forget about the past. It's important to understand the past. It's important to remember the past so that we learn from it. But there are times when we need to cultivate. I could be wrong. I can let go of that, so that opens up my brain, my consciousness, to take in more things, to look at things from a different perspective. And so, as I think it was Thomas Robert Dewar who once said, "The mind is like a parachute. It doesn't work if it's not open." And I know Frank Zappa used that term as well, coined that phrase or borrowed that phrase as well. But the mind must be open to work fully. And that's really where this idea of cultivate, don't know mind comes from. It comes from, it's very much like the beginner's mind that the Zen master Suzuki Roshi once spoke about when he said, in the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the experts, there are few. And so when we come to an experience in life, any experience in life, if we come to it from the sense of a beginner's mind, of waiting to see, okay, what can unfold here? What can I learn here? What new things can I add to my history, to my database, to my knowledge? What new ideas can spring forth in that beginner's mind? It's very similar to the idea that was taught to us by the master teacher. For right in this moment, right before you, the problems you are tackling, the person who is dying, this task that you are completing, this relationship that you're building, this pain and beauty of this that you're facing in this present moment is brand new for you. In that sense, it's brand new for you because you're looking at it through a brand new mind, through a beginner's mind. Now, in Matthew chapter 18, verses 1 through 5, the master teacher tells us a story that relates exactly to this topic. Jesus and his disciples were in Capernaum, and his disciples asked, and I'm going to read this to you, "Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" Now, Jesus, he called a child whom he put among them and said, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever becomes humble like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Whoever welcomes such child in my name welcomes me." Now, here's the brilliance in this master teacher, because Jesus always taught through story and through parable that allowed us to see multiple levels of understanding. And certainly on the face of it, you can see, okay, if I come as a child, if I come as this beginner's mind, because children often have that sense of wonder, that sense of surprise, that curiosity to see, okay, what's coming in? What's next? When we approach life in that beginner's mind, in that childlike consciousness, then we're open to new possibilities. We're open to that expression and experience of what Jesus called the kingdom of heaven. Now, we also talked about the idea that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It's a now here thing. It's not something that happens after we die. Rather, it's a state of consciousness. It's when we live from that point within us that is untouched, that is pure, that is radiant, light, that is the allness of you, that is the allness of the universe, that is that point within you, that spark within you. You may call it your spark of divinity. You may call it your light or your higher consciousness. In Unity, we often refer to it as the Christ consciousness that lives within each person and in all creation. When we come more from that, we are living the expression of the kingdom of heaven. And the next level down is when we look at it from the perspective of consciousness, right? When we look at it from a metaphysical perspective, when Jesus was talking about children have a don't know mind, it's characterized, it's when we have those thoughts. So those children are those pure thoughts within us, metaphysically. It's the thought of reality, the true ideas about our beingness, about that spark that's within you, about that inner wisdom, that inner flow of life, love, and wisdom that is always flowing. When we attune to that, when we become curious about life, when we look for surprises, when we look for wonder, when we are receptive to whatever shows up. When we come from that perspective, those childlike thoughts, that's when we're open to all that the universe has to offer. Now, I know sometimes we think about that as, being childish in behavior. It's not about being childish. It's about changing our thoughts and tuning into that wonder in the universe, looking for that divine expression, that divine pattern in the world. And he also talked about this idea of becoming humble like a child. Now that relates to us very clearly in terms of our ego, right? When our ego is humble, that divine higher consciousness can express more. When our childlike ego is humble, then the ego is not tying into the fear and waiting. The ego is saying, okay, don't wait. When we tie into that feeling of humbleness, free from pride or arrogance, we're able to bring that whole self, our whole self, into the situation, bring our whole being into whatever it is that's before us. So when we cultivate a don't know mind, it puts in a circuit breaker. It puts in the idea that says, oh, I have the answer for that, and this is what it is. It's got to be this. It can be only this. It breaks up that black and white thinking. It breaks up that idea that everyone has to believe in what I believe because I experienced it this way, so therefore this must be the way it should be done. It breaks the circuit of that idea that, this is the only way we can proceed forward in order for our business to be successful, in order for our relationship to be successful. It breaks that circuit so that we can be open, be curious about what other possibilities are out there. It opens up opportunities for us to look at life a little differently, or look at a situation a little differently. When you welcome this don't know mind, with fresh eyes and a sense of curiosity and surprise and wonder, we see the world. When we open to and welcome don't know mind, we are free from pride and arrogance, and with fresh eyes, we open our heart. We are receptive to whatever shows up as is, and we can welcome whatever shows up with our whole self. Then, the kingdom of heaven, that orderly adjustment of divine ideas within our consciousness, is at hand. That living from that Christ center within us is at hand. Our ability to be that loving presence, that harmonious presence, that I in the middle of the storm and the chaos, we're able to be that as an expression, as an experience, to bring that to the table by cultivating the don't know mind. Now, the idea here is that whenever we are finding ourselves becoming rigid in our thinking, whenever we are finding ourselves becoming arrogant or pious or self-righteous, whenever we're finding ourselves being confused by a situation and not understanding that what somebody is presenting to us, or being confused and not understanding why we're not heading in this direction, in the right direction, why we're not doing the right things. When we find ourselves in that situation where we feel stuck, when we're rigid in our thinking. That's the time to go back to our breath and to open our minds and say, well, wait a minute, there may be another way. What else can I see? What else can I learn? How can I become curious in this situation? Maybe I need to ask somebody, I'm curious. How do you see this unfolding? I'm curious. How can this be a greater, is there a greater expression of this that I can bring? We open ourselves to see the wonder in the world, the joy in the world, and the joy in every opportunity that we can bring forth. Whether we are consoling somebody, whether we are bringing a sense of peace to somebody's heart, whether we're bringing a sense of courage, a sense of love, of harmony, a sense of compassion, whatever it is that we're bringing, cultivating a don't know mind gives us the ability to be in that situation, to be in the unknown, to be in the fear, and don't wait. To be in a situation that feels uncomfortable, and to be welcoming. To be in a situation where I can let down my ego. My ego can be more humble, and I can bring my whole self to the solution. And in the middle of that, in that process, find rest, find peace. Now, it takes some time to cultivate don't know mind. It's something that is, when you see the benefit to it, when you first discover how it works within you, that's when the light bulb goes on and says, I get it. So what I invite you to do this week as we practice our final invitation here is to look for opportunities within you to just say, is there another way? Am I being too rigid in my thinking? Can I open my thoughts a little bit more and allow that experience to show me a different path? Allow that inner wisdom to come through. Our affirmation for this week is on the screen, and I'm going to read through it once and then invite you to affirm it with me wherever you are. When we cultivate a don't know mind, our affirmation is, I enthusiastically greet each day with receptivity and wonder, ready to meet whatever shows up as it is. Divine ideas and solutions arise surprisingly in surprising and wonderful ways. With an open heart and an open mind, I experience life with awe and wonder as if for the first time. Would you affirm that with me together? I enthusiastically greet each day with receptivity and wonder, ready to meet whatever shows up as is. Divine ideas and solutions arrive in surprising and wonderful ways. With an open heart and an open mind, I experience life with awe and wonder as if for the first time. And so it is. And so with a nice, deep cleansing breath, let us bring that practice to life. Let us take this fifth invitation with us this week and begin to cultivate the skill, the practice, the muscle of don't know mind, of becoming like a little child, becoming curious, becoming awestruck, looking for the wonder, looking for the surprise, of entering something with that beginner's mind so that we can see a new possibility, a greater possibility, so that we can experience and express a greater sense of that awe that comes from living in the flow of divine life, love, and wisdom, of being in alignment with divine love, of sharing that harmony with the world, of being that presence, that peaceful presence in the middle of chaos. India Ari wrote, and Sharon sung it so beautifully this morning, life is a journey, not a destination. There are no mistakes, just chances we've taken. Lay down your regret, because all we have is now. Where will you choose to journey this week? You choose to journey with an open mind and an open heart, allowing divine love to flow in through and as you, allowing it to breathe you. It'll take practice. And as you practice, you will discover the freedom that comes with it. Let's take this into our time of prayer and meditation. I'll invite you to take a nice, deep, cleansing breath, to feel your feet planted on the floor, feel your hands open and ready to receive as we breathe into this present moment and relax. With each breath, we let go a little bit more. We relax our body, our mind, our emotions. Whatever thoughts or feelings or sensations come up, we don't fret. We just simply bless it and let it drift away as we focus on our breath. With each breath, we move into that place of knowingness. We move deeper into that place of stillness within us, that place that is untouched, that place where our thoughts are humbled and quieted, that place where we are one with the divine essence of life, the source of all wisdom, all knowledge, all harmony, all peace. We breathe into that space, allowing it to be the essence of who we are, allowing us to simply be in the stillness, in the silence. And from this place of oneness, from this sense of allness, from this kingdom of heaven, we affirm, I enthusiastically greet each day with receptivity and wonder. I am ready to meet whatever shows up as is. Divine ideas, solutions arrive in surprising and wonderful ways. With an open heart and an open mind, I experience life with awe and wonder, as if for the very first time. And for this truth, for this sense of knowing our oneness and peace and joy and love within us, for expressing this divine nature, we are joyfully grateful. We are richly, richly blessed. And we celebrate by singing the Alleluia.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
And with a nice deep cleansing breath, I invite you to return your attention to this space, to open your eyes if you haven't already done so, and just allow that sense of peace and joy and harmony to be you in this present moment. Unity Palo Alto is committed to helping people live life better through spiritual growth and spiritual practices. We are here to help you discover that spiritual magnificence that is within you and help you live that presence and power every day of your life. Through our spiritual practice, we believe that you'll be able to do life better. Let us move into a time of affirmative prayer as we hold all of the prayer requests that we have in our prayer chest, in our hearts, knowing that divine love is doing its perfect work in each situation. If there is somebody who you hold in prayer, I invite you to say their name out loud now or bring their name to mind. For all of the prayer requests in our prayer chest, for all of the prayers in our hearts, we know that divine love is doing its perfect work here and now in each situation, helping each person discover that spiritual magnificence within them, helping each person come to whatever experience they're having with a don't know consciousness. Open to the possibilities, open to the awe, the wonder, the experience of God. We surround our world, national, state, and local leaders in the same prayer, seeing them making wise and loving decisions for peace on earth, goodwill, equality, and justice for all people. And we hold all people who are suffering, who have suffered from this pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. We hold all of the caregivers who are supporting our society, our community, each other through this process with our love. And for this time together, for this celebration of this experience of the divine, we say thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. And so it is. Amen.
So this is the third Sunday of the month, and today we are blessing the children. So it's blessing your own children, it's blessing your grandkids and any other kids. And today, as we learn from John, the children within ourselves. So I invite you to put one of your hand in your heart and the other one you extend, and we say together, you are God's perfect child. God and I love you just the way you are. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. And now it's time for us to step into the spiritual practice of living in the flow of abundance. Unity is a self-sustaining spiritual center. And if you feel uplifted or inspired by today's service, by our music, by our blessings, then we invite you to share your abundance through a love offering donation. There are many ways in which you can give to Unity Palo Alto, whether it's on our website, through PayPal, or to mail in your donation. We also invite you to become a part of a chorus of angels. We have an opportunity for us to take advantage of the $25,000 automatic donation grant. We're moving quite smoothly through that. I think we've raised about $18,000, somewhere in that range so far. So we really want to take advantage of that $25,000 automatic donation matching grants. To learn more about that, visit our website at unitypaloalto.org/fundraising. And now I invite you to surround your love offering, whatever it is that you have to give, whether it's your time, your talent, your treasure, whether it's sharing one of our posts on your favorite social media channel or liking our social media channels. We invite you to surround that gift with your love. Fill it with your love, for it's the manner in which we give, the energy that we give to life, that we receive from life. Our affirmation is on the screen, and I invite you to affirm it with me together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. And so it is.
You've heard about being open today, accepting all that is and all that God provides for us. We open the eyes of our hearts I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to be in you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. See you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to be in you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. See you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. We sing, holy, holy, holy. We sing, holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. We sing, holy, holy, holy. We sing, holy, holy, holy. We sing, holy, holy, holy. I want to see you.
Thank you, Sharon D. Henderson and Reflection. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Lee. So grateful to have you with us. And thank you, Joe, for being our platform leader today. And thank you all for being with us this morning. We're so grateful that you're part of our spiritual community, whether you're here local, whether you're abroad or across the country. Just know that wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. And now our prayer for protection. Our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Love and blessings, everyone. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you soon.